it's crazy. You've been in the game for a long time, dude. Like I asked you about guys versus women on training. Like, what do you think about the influencing world? Like, who do you think's like taking over the influencing world when it comes to guys versus women?
I mean, girl influencers just have it way easier than guys, for sure. Girls, it's like, I mean, I was watching a video today. This girl was doing like leg curls. You couldn't even see her doing leg curls. It was just like directly into her vagina.
I just remember when Instagram used to be so big on like posting a photo and you just being famous. Like you if you were like an aesthetic guy or if you were just jacked, like you were just instantly famous where you could just post photos. And now it's like I have to spend 30 minutes on editing a video on the minimum to potentially make it pop. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's all about reels. It's all about videos now. Because people, I mean, Instagram, I guess you can make anything pop, dude. You know what I mean? If you're like, there's still models out there that are killing it just because they're insanely hot, guys and girls. But for the average person, you got to be given some sort of value in a video format, which is a lot different. And dude, it's tough because you have to hook people every single clip. If you're doing a 30-second video, you have to re-hook people over and over and over and over and over again. Or there's just so much information out there, you just swipe. So you have to be a good storyteller. And that's ultimately what you're doing in your clips is telling a story that you got to keep people engaged. It's hard. And like, I think like the attention span on TikTok is like 1.5 seconds or something. Instagram's a little bit longer. Imagine like YouTube. People are on YouTube. It just seems
like it's long form now. Just
TikTok has switched, but still like people's attention span is
dude, like those
short.
Movie scenes. I get stuck on the movie scenes, so I'd be scrolling for hours.
I've been watching Game of Thrones
bro. You just like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
But they don't even have.
You're searching like, where's the part 5?
I just want to watch the whole episode at this point.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
You're so like pissed off because you can't find the part 5 because they don't have it out yet. So you follow them, dude. It's genius.
Yeah, no, it really is, and that seems what they're moving towards. But I get a lot of it's an interesting world being like an influencer. And I kind of hate the term content creator. That's like a new age word for influencer. Like, oh, I'm not an influencer. That's like derogatory. I'm a content creator. It's like, it's not that serious. You're call it whatever you want to call it. Yeah, content creator, if that makes you feel better. We make videos for the internet. It's not that serious. But
yeah, from experience, day one of being an influencer, I agree.
Yeah.
No, I did feel very welcomed though, dude. Like being in the gym and telling everybody like, hey, I just quit my job. They're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like I don't know really what I expected from people. But it's like, yeah, it's just kind of crazy how they open arms. Everybody's just like, yeah, welcome to it's like community. It's a community.
Yeah. I also think it's a world that people don't really understand. This shit's harder than it looks. Like you have to create content, good content all the time. And all these platforms are like, what have you done for me lately? So you can be killing it one day, and then if you just don't create good content, they're like, all right, well, smell you later. So it's hard. And I think a lot of the people that are in it, they understand the struggle. So when you're like, yeah, I quit my job to this full time, like, yo, let's do this.
Do you remember like how long ago it was when you hit 100K? Can't think about.
On what? Instagram or TikTok?
Yeah, no, on TikTok.
On TikTok. No, I do remember. So it was like in, I want to say like January. I forget what year, maybe 2021. I was at like 65,000 in like late winter or like late fall, like December or something. And I made a goal. I was like, I want to hit 100,000 by the end of this upcoming year. And I got to 100,000 in like January. And I was like, that's when it started to pop off. And I was like, oh, snap. Because I remember I set a goal. It's like, yo, if I get 100,000 on TikTok, that's going to be crazy. And then I hit it. And I was like, yo, that is way under. Like, you can blow this up for real. Because I was like, I got there with my content just getting better and better and better. And, yeah, I remember hitting that feeling like a G, but also feeling like, nah, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I remember, like, you being at, like, 99999, almost a million. I'm, like, waiting. I keep refreshing your page. I'm like, come on, hit that milli. Like,
yeah, that was a cool
I was excited for you.
Yeah, hitting a million was cool.
For the past 3 years, literally go from ground zero to all the way up.
Yeah, hitting a million was cool.
Just, like, driving around your little, like, your old Honda Accord.
Yeah,
dude.
95 Honda Accord.
Yeah, 95 Honda Accord. I'm trying to fix it in the parking lot. Yeah. You're like, all right, time to get a new car.
Yeah, no, it's definitely changed my life quite a bit. So it's pretty cool, man. Like, it's also kind of weird still. Like, people will come out to me just like on the streets. I'm like, oh, your Red 5 performance. I'm like, I always try to.
I feel like influencers never talk about how that makes them feel, but like you said, I remember you telling me like, oh, that it's not as like exciting as you think, because people are like, oh, I'd love to be famous. But it's like, oh, is it really that exciting to be famous?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm famous. Like,
yeah, but maybe, to have that feeling,
maybe like fitness,
yeah,
internet
but just
famous.
to be like, have people like come up to you, dude. They see you online. That's kind of cool. You got to be like well known.
Yeah, people come up to me like coffee shops and gyms and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's sometimes like I like get social anxiety about this sometimes because I want to make the experience really awesome for somebody. I remember when I was a young coach. This was years and years and years ago. This one coach I looked up to. We were at this big time competition. And I saw him outside of the competition at Starbucks. I wanted to talk to him. And he was such a dick. And I was just like heartbroken. I was like, fuck you, dude. Like fire in my eyes. Like brought out my axe and shield. I was like, I will never lose this motherfucker ever again. And I never did. But like, it was just so heartbreaking, dude. Because I looked up to that guy a lot. He was a smart coach. And I was like, bro, like you're not that cool.
So when people meet you, you just want
I try to be super cool, yeah.
Super cool.
But sometimes people make it hard to be cool. It's like, bro, like have a little bit of social awareness. Like I try to be cool with people, but like don't come up to me, start a conversation, then make me carry the conversation.
No, I love it when people come up to you and they're like, "Hey,"
yeah,
they
so
just
weird,
stare
bro.
at you.
It's
They're
so
like,
weird.
"My name is so and so," and then you're like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, no. If someone's like, yeah, like first, like listen, if you ever see me out, dude, I'll talk to anybody. Say hi, but tell me where you know me from. Be like, oh, I follow you on this platform. All right, cool. Versus somebody come up to me, it's like, hey, and you're like,
hey, how's it going? Like
Yeah.
you know each other.
Yeah, like where do I know you from? Do you know me from years ago that like you don't like me? Like are we about to have a confrontation? Like what my brain just goes crazy and just gets social anxiety. It's like I want to make the experience good, but I don't know where I know you from. Like I need to be like on guard right now. Do you know somebody that really doesn't like me? Just tell me how you know me. I promise I'll be cool. I'll take a picture with you. It'll be cool and like everything's gonna be fine. I really, because some people you can really make their day. You know what I mean? It's like I never want to be a dick to somebody like that because that happened to me, dude. And it was really kind of devastating for real. Like I was young. I was a young man, so instead of being like emotional about it, I was just like on a warpath about it.
Yeah.
But like I can see how that kind of hurts people's feelings sometimes. You know?
What about like online, dude? You get a lot of you probably get a lot more interaction online, obviously, like comments and stuff. Like,
yeah, no,
I get good
mostly,
versus bad comments. I'm sure you get hate
comments
all the time, dude.
Yeah, actually, most of the comments I get are overwhelmingly positive. Like the trolls they don't really bother me. Because it's like, all right, obviously you're just miserable with your life, and this is helping me through engagement and things like that. But the worst comments that I get are people that are like, they're like genuinely looking for help, but they just don't understand. They'll be like, hey, I have this like super specific injury that only applies to me. I'm like, bro, like you need to go to a doctor. Like you can't get this information from the internet, whether it's from me or from anybody else. Like you need to be assessed by a doctor or someone be like, hey, my knee hurts. How do I fix it? It's like, dude, I want to help. That's why there's the worst comments, because I want to help, but they don't understand that I can't help you. It's like going to a mechanic, like, hey, my car's broke. What's wrong with it? They're like, well, I don't know, dude. I need to like look at it, assess it, figure it out. There's a million things that could be causing this, and I don't have any information from you, so I just simply cannot answer this.
Yeah,
but you come off like a dick, and it's like I'm not a dick. I just can't answer this ridiculous question. I have a herniation L4, L5. I'm like, dude, go to a doctor, because there's so many like there's so many different things that could be. You know, but I get trolls. Again, the trolls don't really bother me. One of the trolls that are annoying though, that are like to be like, this is wrong, like that's basically the thing. I'm like, okay, dude, like it's just so much deeper. Like you get a lot of people that they'll watch one Instagram or TikTok video, now they're an expert on this topic. They don't understand that like the video that I'm making is not the same thing that they're commenting on. They're like, this is like this one video was talking about hack squats and different leg positions on a hack squat, how it targets different parts of your legs. You go wide stance, a little bit more adductors, narrow stance, a little bit more quads, higher up, a little bit more glutes, lower down, a little more quads. It's just a little bit more of each one. It's like, show me an IFBB pro. I'm like, dude, our gym is filled with IFBB pros. Just for 1 second, go outside of your little circle that is like amateurs and go into the professional world. You see people do things totally different, but they just go through this whole tirade. I'm like, bro, oh my God. So I don't even respond to those because it's like, it's just going to go nowhere. But it's frustrating because other people read that and, you know, I don't know if it influences them or not. I think most people are pretty normal people and have a brain in their head.
You think they're like bodybuilders versus powerlifters, or you think it's just people
well, yeah,
off the streets?
yeah. So I think generally speaking, you get people that they don't understand there's lots of different ways to train. And like, oh, this is the only way to do it. I'm like, well, what if your goals are that? Well, then yeah. So what you're saying doesn't make sense. So you can't just make blanket statements. Also, I'm teaching to a very, very large audience. So you can't make like hyper specific claims when I'm just putting out general information. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Oh, well, like some like they just say some dumb shit. I'm like, bro, like that applies in maybe this one particular scenario. Or like, I'm not even saying necessarily you're wrong. Like, oh, well, you should be teaching people that it needs to be an external rotation and abduction. But I'm like, yeah, but like people don't know what that fucking means. And this is a 30-second video and not a college dissertation.